What's that? Bringing you the latest and greatest in tabletop role-playing, game testing, and previews? Why, it's Wandering Monster Roll Initiative!
Hello and welcome everyone back to Wandering Monster. I am Ian SerVaas.
I am Charles R. Bernard.
I'm Kevin Welch.
Mr. Paschke.
And tonight we are streaming from the city of SCAB. And we are featuring another fantastic game from World Game Champs, the creative mind from Adam Vaas. We are playing Borg, another abominable spawn of the Borg universe. This will have you playing as a cadre of vampires, very much leaning into the grit, zine, art punk, and the aesthetics of death metal and just that great kind of grungy Undercity vibe. This game takes the vampire ethos and returns it back to that grit and grime rather than these sparkly vampires that plagued us so much in the early aughts. This game is...
Or the aristocratic vampires.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing, lumpen proletariat vampires.
It's a beautiful book, so you can pick this up from World Champ Game, from their from their store, and it is also something that would be beautiful on a coffee table, or in this case, a blood table for your morning cup of Joe. Literally, you've drained Joseph. Bad puns here all around. But before we could dive into the underbelly of SCAB and talk about the city itself, it would behoove us to introduce our vampires, seeing that the sun has finally set, and what a horrible night to have a curse after all. Only if one of us were to be so bold as to go first and to introduce themselves.
I have been described as bold quite often. I'll go first. So tonight I will be playing Vikram the Dirt. So Dirt is a fun class in this game. Like all of my class, I am essentially like a mole man who has emerged to the surface, or a mole vampire. I lived in the forgotten wells of humanity before civilizations rose and fell, born and bred in the slime and darkness, away from the light of the sun and the light of the stars alike. Eventually, however, I was forced to leave my dirt dwelling, in particular because of human construction, which pissed me off. So I went up to check on, what had knocked down my sweet underground, imagine a very small mansion, like a child's play mansion, made entirely out of garbage that has been glued together with other garbage. It looked amazing and just completely destroyed. So, I rose to the surface and have since learned to make my way in the world as best I can in the shadows, alleys, darkness, ditches, etc. I am hunched, pallid, and my ears are quite pointy, like a bat's. I mean, noticeably large and pointy, not just like cute elf ears. These are, like bat boy ears. And that's me.
Awesome. Well, I'll go next. I'm playing Egon the Junk Lord. Junk Lord class. I'm thinking more like a scavenger and a tinker. You find a bunch of shit and you put it together. They say one city's trash is another citizen's treasure. Spent hundreds of hours rifling through the sopping wet wastes of my neighbors. Garbage to get new perspective on the depravity of the city of SCAB. I seek out their secrets. I smell their shame. I taste their forgotten memories. I pretty much just vampire tweaker, as it turns out.
You're a Q-tip collector.
Yes.
You're going through people's trash looking for used Q-tips, and I think that's cool.
Now I'm going to make something out of them, too. Also, I'm a pyromaniac, which, as it turns out for vampires, does not work out very well.
Yeah.
So, sorry if you get burnt. I'm also, as I'm rifling through all this trash, what I'm really doing is I'm looking for this old demo tape of my my old yacht rock tribute band when I was among the living. But I just can't seem to find. I haven't found the right junkyard yet. So that Steely Dan tape that's out there, or the tribute band thereof, is with my vocals there, and they were horrible. And the whole band. Okay, so the band kicked me out. It wasn't necessarily my fault. The guy mixing it, producing it, had the bass up way too high in the mix. I couldn't hear myself, and it went tone deaf. I just went tone deaf on it. So either way, neither here nor there. That was my side gig when I wasn't being like a corporate just cog in the wheel. But anyways, that's old news now. Now I'm just building stuff out of everyone else's leftovers.
Best name for a Steely Dan cover band, by the way. Steely Dan, spelled Stealy. You know, like you're stealing Steely Dan's music.
Making a note.
Just pretend you're not even a real cover band. It's like, no, we wrote this. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Yes.
No, it's the original song that we came up with.
Oh my God, what a good gimmick that would be.
Well, I guess that
for
leaves
a bar band, man. Like,
that leaves
wasted my life.
that leaves me the leech. As people can see on the screen, I mean, yeah, Seraphim. You know, that's an old name, right? You know, you don't hear the name Seraphim in a lot of like common context. Like you don't like go like, oh, what's your baby's name? Seraphim. Not a lot of them yet, but you know, I said that, so probably the number one name of next year is going to be Seraphim. But
100%, I'd vote for it.
When my character was born, roughly somewhere around 1156 years ago, not that there's a specific number somewhere on my character sheet that I believe to be my description. You know, just this old guy that I'm just like, can I do my old man voice and not have him come off little New York Jewish, which I'm just like, I don't want him to be, but that's what he always winds up devolving into, and I don't like it. But John's not technically here right now, so if I start talking like this, he's not going to be able to get mad at me directly yet. It'll be a thing later when he'll be like, God damn it, Paschke, why the fuck? I'm just like, and that's why I also refuse to do Jerry Seinfeld when John's here. But regardless, you know, just this really old guy, kind of hermit-like, because you know the kids these days. But let's multiply that by 1,156. First of all, like cell phones are a fad. I remember back when carrier pigeons were the thing and how you sent messages. I still got a few. If anyone needs a carrier pigeon, they are really affordable. You just buy some mellet and keep that. You wouldn't understand. But no, my child turned me. That was a real hard pill to swallow for me, because A, didn't know the boy was a vampire. B, like we got into a little bit of an argument, a little tissy back and forth. Tissy is an old term. You know, it made a comeback a while ago. Yeah, I don't know what else is relevant about this guy. I used to race chariots.
Cool. I should add that my guy Vikram was turned by a greater vampire who wanted to use me as a lowly hench vamp to do something, and then the older vampire just died, and I'm still around. So, who's the master now?
So SCAB is this interesting city. It was built over aeons after the various apocalypses had come to the world. It's the last bastion, the sprawling cityscape, constantly in an upheaval of being reborn and decaying and dying at the same time. Inasmuch as Morkborg, the dying lands, are slowly eroding away and the edges are just where reality begins to blend and fade away, so too are the outskirts and the beyonds of the city. The accursed sun still plagues this place, so there are a rings of very tall skyscrapers that perpetually bathe the center of the city in darkness, so these vampires can go out so brazenly during the daytime. There's also a series of tunnels and failed subways, such as the one that upheaved your home, Vikram, that connect and give, instead of sky tubes, like earth tubes, so vampires can move at night or during the day unseen by normies or people who are not blessed or cursed with undeath. The section of town that you live is actually one of the more posh and the more powerful and influential sections of town, being Black Grove, a riverside district where the sun killers, those large skyscrapers, cast those great shadows. This is a place of order, of tidiness, where the elder vampires that control the various cabals and forces in the city make sure they maintain a very clean nose. So it is very unusual that your property, let's say for a better word, the term is of course a squat, your haunt, your domicile, is somehow a series of interconnected dumpsters that
Hell yeah.
is probably outside of Asphalt, one of the 24-hour coffee shops, not too far from the Unit, which is a very mediocre deli that has a hidden underground recording studio and just general band practice place for vampire bands. And on the outskirt of the marshes, which was a very beautiful outdoor green space where people go for selling drugs, trading drugs, and just random hookups and promiscuous sex. I'm imagining that you just are this series of dumpsters that's behind these tall skyscrapers, just out of sight of the main streets, but kind of close to a park. So sometimes you find people dumping actual trash accidentally or on purpose into your apartment complex, let's say.
Oh, it's like a Venus flytrap in those cases. Yeah.
You share your space with another vampire, one of a homie, the person that probably introduced you to this living arrangement, going by the name of Dakota Shreveport. Dakota does their job to make sure that they always keep the quarters clean, scraping out the coffee grinds and fish guts, normie guts, and other things that get dumped in here on a regular basis. And tell me, how do you maintain privacy in these sections of these dumpsters? And what does your section of one of the dumpsters looks like? How do you set that up for yourself?
I'll start. The nastiest bed sheet you've ever seen in your godforsaken life, nailed to the ceiling, just to provide like a little, at like a dead end of one of the dumpsters. So, and it's just like essentially nothing but like punk and hardcore posters and set lists from bands I like. Vikram, once he emerged to the surface, discovered not just like, I mean, it was the first time that Vikram had heard music. So naturally, when he heard punk, he was like, "This is the best music ever made." And yeah, I've just become like a super fan, So it's like I don't really sleep that much. There's kind of a little bit of a coffin and crammed in there, but mainly there's like a ratty ass Walkman with like taped together headphones and maybe some candles. That's about it.
2 questions.
Sure.
First of all, how many births were given on that bed sheet?
Are we talking live births or births total?
Yes.
Let's say above 20 but under 40.
Okay. Second question. Will you turn that fucking music down? My pigeons are being tormented by your gosh awful noise.
That would be a dynamic in the squat for sure.
Yeah.
Which is great because you actually have super hearing. So that's
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, that's why I use the headphones. Like if I didn't use the headphones, it'd be unbearable. But,
I mean, have you ever seen down Periscope radar?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I can hear it. Just so you know.
Okay.
I would say Egon's little slice of afterlife is kind of set up with like he's got like a corporate like a suit, but it's like a couple fashion seasons too old and kind of dirty, and then on the other side he's got like a collection of boat shoes that he's kind of picked up from different dumpsters. You know, got his pastel shirt and shorts that are far too short, kind of set up. It's like if
Forever 1976.
yeah. And then on the
Yeah.
other side, he's got kind of stuff he's been working on. Like he's kind of devised he's working on a divider between him and Seraphim, so he anything that he's saying doesn't get leaked over to that side, because he's really tired of being yelled at, and the pigeons are freaking him out. Like they're just like every so often coming by and just like kind of pecking at his ear, and it's like so
The
he's kind of
pigeons were here first.
that's fine. That's great. Most of the time, Egon is kind of over by the recording studio, kind of asking to, trying to get in with another group, because he feels like he kind of got a bum deal out of his little tribute band. Still kind of poking at the producers to see if anybody turned in the demo tape that he lost. I'm picturing more of like if Donatello, the Ninja Turtle, got into real hard drugs, like real hard drugs, and then become a vampire, and then stayed on hard drugs, and then fed off people that were on hard drugs.
I'm imagining it looks a little bit like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle suits from the first movie that went on auction that are just
Yes.
smoldering away.
Mhm.
Big bug eyes. I love the look of that.
I listened to an interview once with a guy who had been so they did a whole, I don't know if you guys remember from your youth, but I sure do. After that first movie, they did like a bunch of tours and stuff where actors in like those suits would perform like lines and do a bunch of martial arts and acrobatics and stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the actors from the movie. It was like they had like 4 or 5 of these different tours going on at once. So like, and this guy, I forget which one of them he played, but he talked about just like how weird it is to be a professional, like to do crazy intense physical activity inside of a giant foam turtle. Like he legitimately had like belts and karate and stuff, and here he is doing like high kicks as Raphael or whoever.
Full disclosure, I once did try to hire a local troupe of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle people for someone's birthday party.
Oh, rad. That would have been so cool.
Yeah, I think they broke up right when I was trying to hire them. So
Bummer.
sad
Oh,
day.
bummer.
Yeah.
But what about you, Leech? What's your... Sorry, I just called you Leech, Seraphim. I didn't mean to call you by your non-government name.
It's fine. People call me Leech all the time. It is what it is. I mean,
Speaking with, have you paid rent yet?
pigeon at the voice coming from the sky.
just throwing birds into the air.
Yeah, just who said that? Yeah.
The best part is there is a bird like infestation in my attic that's like right here that no one can see off camera. And
You're welcome.
if it wasn't raining, I would have gone out to like try to get these birds. They're constantly going by, so I'm going to personally hold you responsible, Sarah. But what did you say your corner of one of the interconnected dumpsters looks like?
First of all, he is still like enamored by the hippie movement, not like as far as tie-dye goes, but like flower patterns. Like he's like, I don't know why people stopped putting this on things. It's great. So
I
like
kind of agree.
yeah, so there's like he thinks a beaded curtain is an appropriate space divider.
Yeah.
So where Egon is trying to put up an actual wall, he just put up some beaded curtains. It's just like good enough. This is my side, that's your side. You stay over there. Obviously the before mentioned pigeons, because that's how he sends messages to people.
Mike Tyson keeps pigeons too. and
Yeah.
he's going to murder Jake Paul.
One can only hope. He constantly is in there doing like old man hermit thing. He's got the one glass that he keeps like putting blood in, just doesn't wash it. It just sits there on his little rickety table that like he probably like actually bought it at some point, but because he's had it so long and has moved with it, it looks like something you would find in a dumpster, but no, it was just originally his. So it looks like it belongs there. But yeah, I don't know, he remembers when the city was farmland because he is that old. I know Ian's description was that the city is old. He is older.
I believe it. Off the side of your dumpster, Seraphim, is the connecting. Well, tube is a generous word. It's some type of mishmash of cardboard boxes and some type of old shrimp crate that connects the next dumpster over where Dakota hangs out most of the time. You know that Dakota lately has been seeing a really dorky, normie, non-magical to even make it worse, named Body. Just Body. You think when you hear that type of name that you would see like a really shredded physique, but the guy is always wearing a hoodie and it's just kind of hunched over a bit and just looks like a pasty guy that would seem like they would be playing some type of TTRPG and streaming on a Wednesday night. You always kind of gotten a bad vibe about Body, but Dakota just seems to really jive with them. And when they're not just violently banging in the dumpster next to you, they're watching old VHS tapes, probably things that Egon has dug up in his various dumpster diving. The thing that's been really weird is that as things seem to get more and more intense, especially judging by how many new dents there are on the side of the dumpster, is that Dakota's been talking about going to this new human spot over in Sextonville, once up and coming hipstery neighborhood that's kind of fallen into obsolescence. This club called The Spot. Talking about it, trying to get you there, talking about how great Body says it is, and you notice that you haven't seen Dakota in the last couple days. It's been at least 3 days since you've seen them. And you realize that what's really weird is that Dakota never got a sitter for their pet cat, Thirst. And Thirst just keeps eating a bunch of Seraphim's pigeons.
I hate that fucking cat so much. I think we should just let it out and let it go live on the streets.
That cat can't fend for itself. It's been with Dakota this
and
whole
it's
time.
never gonna learn how to if we keep letting it live inside.
You're just
only
mad
way
because
it's
it's eating
gonna
your
learn.
birds.
They're my birds. I raised them from eggs. I sat on them myself.
If I'd gotten a better feast roll, then I could have taken care of this problem.
I mean, all right, fine. How about maybe that we can use the cat to figure out where the hell Dakota went?
Cats, famed trackers.
Or it's just gonna run off, lick its butthole for the next 20 minutes, and then free.
Go ahead and roll me a d6.
Okay. That's a 6-sided one, right?
Yes.
That is the 6-sided one.
That's generally how math works.
That's
all of them have a 6 on it except for the d4.
True.
2.
And a d3 if you have one. I rolled 2 as well.
Oh.
The cat begins licking its butthole, and then it begins the early stages of the it's fighting a hairball, but instead of a hairball, it coughs out a feather ball.
Not on my rug. Go. Get that thing out of here.
At this point, I interject, and I'm like, look, guys, we all hate the fucking cat. The important thing is that the guy who sometimes pays rent out of all of us is missing, and that's concerns me. I don't have a hole to go back to right now. I mean, there's that guy I've been seeing, but I mean to live in,
Oh, yeah.
I hope by the end of this, everyone evolves into like a really downbeat, crusty New York elderly Jewish man.
That's what I was
accent.
saying. I don't like this
If
voice.
all of
The
if all of
voice.
us start doing it, it would just be fantastic.
Maybe for this one, I'm just doing my goblin voice. That's like my generic goblin voice. So, I'm trying to sound a little like Krusty the Clown. I think is what it is. Yeah.
Hey,
I've got keen sense. Can I use that to track anything within the mile radius?
Yeah, I mean it. Well, how big is downtown? Is it like a mile across?
well, this would be the area that this club that Dakota has been talking about is in a little bit of is an adjoining burb called Sextonville. It's it's going to be further than a mile away, but you could maybe go over to the spot, that club, and then use your senses nearby to really hone in. Yes, the vampire in the back with their hand raised.
Yeah. Do the tunnels lead to Sextonville, or are we gonna have to like hop in a bus or whatever? Also, is it daylight? Also, is Sextonville like flooded with daylight during the day?
How nautical themed is Sextonville?
It is not nautical, or at least not in the way that you would expect sextants and anchors and such. The area used to be more promising with apartment complexes being built and businesses moving in, but it just kind of fizzled out. Not
Sexton
really.
is another word for gravedigger too, or technically the guy who's in charge of all of the grave digging at a graveyard, like oversees the maintenance of the cemetery.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Nice.
It's not too far. You could probably take some of the tubes relatively close. Most of those tubes interconnect the sun killers per se, but you could go for a nice stroll. You could one of you probably has some type of vehicle. If not, you can take a bus, but it's not too far. You could hoof it from your lovely dumpster.
All right, we can. You guys want to hoof it?
Let's head over to the spot. Let's hoof it.
Yeah.
Hoof it to the spoot.
I would assume that since you are so close to this park, that you probably take a time to maybe harvest some blood off of some normies, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's a good idea.
No.
Hey, you said that this park was referred to as the marshlands. Is that because it is in fact marshy?
So it was so what's interesting about this place, it's one of the only places that has an actual green space in the whole city. It's this fleeting glimpse of nature. It was built amongst wetlands originally, and it's kind of goes through these periods of drying up, being flooded with various effluvia, or when it's kind of one of those apocalyptic seasons and it rains non-potable blood and it marshes up. It's kind of like that. So it's
Cool.
basically a hub for drug sales and anonymous sex.
Ooh.
And
Man,
tennis.
I want to live in
Tennis.
SCAB. It sounds like my kind of city. Yeah, let's go there. I bet I can rustle up, if not a human, at least a snake. That I can eat.
I will say, for sake of time, why don't we just do an action montage where you tell me what type of human you are wanting to feast on, if it's one of the drug pushers, drug buyers, anonymous cruising people, or tennis player. And roll a D2 to figure out if you get how many units of blood you get.
I want a tennis player real bad. So
I was hoping they'd
let's
have
see.
pickleball here.
There's a guy in the bushes that offers to play a pickleball with you.
That's my man. I'm going after him.
And I rolled a 2.
I love it. So you get 2 units of blood.
Hell yeah.
In the park that was close to my college growing up, the cops called it Pickle Park for the constant cruising and pickups that would happen there.
Those were the days, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. I'm gonna go find that guy that wants to go to play pickleball in the bush.
Oh no, he's exposing himself. There's no hiding. He is exposing the paddle and balls for you.
The way I see it is I'm going to jump into the bush, and I don't know if you guys have ever played Sims 4. My wife plays it all the time, but when they woohoo in the bushes, it's just this big cloud of like limbs and dirt and stuff. Anyways,
Your little people can fuck in the bushes in The Sims?
dude, she was showing me a video. They were fucking in horse shit.
I've underestimated that series of games radically.
Yeah, this
Go
is the stuff. Yeah, never mind. Anyways,
So roll your D2, and if you would roll me a presence check.
oh goodness. All right. I got a 2 on that D2 presence test. I have +2. That is 5.
Woof.
Yeah,
All
that was a rough one.
So the woohooing is particularly good for you, but I'm pretty sure you're hearing the other guy yawning during the woohooing. And afterwards, he just shrugs and just stumbles off.
Let that be a lesson to you.
I've
him a
had
smack
better
on the
steps
ass.
in a bush.
And Seraphim?
Yeah, Seraphim just tries to casually in conversation just be like, "You're not O negative, are you? I get heartburn when I drink O negative."
I'm just trying to sell you weed.
Fuck it. And that's when he just like, yeah, just the weed dealer. He does not really care. He's just more concerned about like heartburn.
I love fuck it in that sense. Fuck it.
So go ahead and actually, since you roll me a strength check.
All right. That's gonna be
D20 with a DR of 12. Your strength is +0.
And if I were to have rolled a 1.
Okay. Something also to mention, for one thing that's interesting about this game, in place of the omen mechanism, like most of the other board games, one of the mechanisms that really is designed to foster that sense of you're being in this vampire pack is that you can assist one another. If you help someone, they get +1 on their roll, and your pack gets a promise, which is like an omen. You can use that to re-roll any set of dice in an encounter, and you can only have so many in your pack bank at a time. So rolling a 1, you go to jump this drug dealer after clearly like telegraphing what you're going to do, and you're an old crusty son of a bitch. So the guy just straight up and kicks you in the raisins.
Oh, ooh,
Raisins is right. All dried up.
So I will get your D2 units of blood from a scuffle with him, but take 1 point of damage.
All right.
No.
I have a D2.
Actually, it doesn't matter because when you feed on humans, you get D4 hit points back. So we'll just say you're just particularly tender in said raisins.
All right, so I get a sore raisins and a 1 blood.
All right, there you go. So
Finally used my D2.
Hell yeah.
When
It's got skulls
your
on it.
transportation over to Sextonville is uneventful. It's an oddly quiet night. You can barely hear the death beetles screaming in the bushes as you hoof your way over to this club that Dakota has been talking about. There's definitely an odd vibe to Sextonville. Like there's been a lot of hipster humans that have lived here. There's too many normies. And in fact, you get that vibe, that collective feeling of hate when you get close to normies. Just that palpable feeling of anathema about your existence. You know that everything hates you under creation, but the truly living just have an innate hatred of you. It's a feral loathing thing that's hardwired into them. So the club itself just seems repellent as you get close to it. That it could also be the real shit ass band that's playing, or they're warming up, or whatever that sound is that's coming out of the club. But you see, there are two bouncers outside of this club, some hipsters in an alley cavorting, and it's just a real disgusting vibe. It's called the Spot.
Hmm.
Well, we're probably close enough now that you can use your vamp sense to see if you can. I've already forgotten the name of our beloved roommate.
Dakota.
Dakota. That's right.
Dakota Shreveport.
Dakota Shreveport. Yeah. See if you can sense Dakota Shreveport's location.
Yeah,
Or
Keith
any
looks
like
it up.
psychic spoor or whatever.
So you can get a sense of hearing or smell to get some type of insight into this without even rolling in an ability check. So which one are you wanting to lean into more?
I feel like coming up to the area smell would be like the easiest way to narrow down
What does
where
Dakota
they may have
smell
been.
like?
That stupid fucking cat.
Okay.
Also, tea tree oil. We all know why.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories when I worked at a scout camp was one of my coworkers came in and he just reeked of cat piss. And I looked at the guy and I was like, dude, you straight up reek. And he goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, you reek. And he takes his backpack off and it's just like he like leans in, smells it, and he goes, oh, my cat pissed on my backpack. And then there's like this one beat, and then he goes, my lunch is in there.
Oh,
It's the one beat that does it for me.
The one thing that keeps me going, my lunch. So you tap into the smell of cat piss and tea tree oil to hone in. And as you waft and try to get a sense of this, there is a lingering scent of cat piss and tea tree oil that wafts out of the building, but it's not fresh. It's not like it's being circulated. It's almost like it's the scent of the various drugs that you burn in a bong, how it gets a weird murky odor as it's passing through whatever liquid that you're using. Something like that. It makes you feel very, I don't know, uncomfortable. Something about it just puts the hackles up on the back of your neck.
that's what vampires do when their hackles are up, right? They hiss, all right?
Think
Yeah.
Just like
I
that
think that's
cat.
lore, yeah.
Yeah. She hasn't been here, and is Dakota? Do we know what Dakota is?
A Shreveport. Dakota
Ah.
is a Shreveport.
Okay, Shreveport has not been here in several days. I know this. Or Shreveport started showering.
I doubt that.
Yeah. That did not happen. All right. Well, what do we could go in the club and I could mind control like everybody in earshot, which means we'd have to shut the band up first.
Oh, please.
Or
Yeah.
you jump on the stage and join the band, and then
Or just grab the mic. Yeah. And
I'm
I
getting a
could
musical number.
I could mind control them to give us information about like, has anybody seen Dakota Shreveport? But the problem with that is that like I don't know if anybody who is in the club right now, well, the staff is there. They might have seen or noticed something. What do you guys think? Should we try that?
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
It's good to plan as
All
any.
right. Let's see how much the cover is because I've only got $13.
As you are making your plan, you see hipsters are beginning to line up. And in fact, now there are 12 hipsters waiting in line to go through these two bouncers. One of them seems to actually be doing their job and looking at IDs. The other one is doing some pat downs for weapons, but it looks mostly like a very uncomfortable groping.
Yeah.
Speaking of weapons, did we bring stuff with us, guys?
Oh yeah, I've got a very actually like hit points are pretty low in this game usually, so I've got an okay weapon with me.
Do I?
I mean, is like anything that's going to be detected if there's a pat down? Because
Not in my case.
okay, I have bolt cutters.
Oh yeah,
So-
those are kind of hard to hide.
Yeah. So while you guys are doing this, I might
We
actually.
could just kill the bouncers and
I
scatter
mean-
all these people like the sniveling sheep that they are.
Or I could just pay the cover.
No, but we have to wait in line and get patted down and all this shit.
Or we pay like the bouncer like an extra 20 to like put us in front of the line.
Uh,
My character has $1,600 on him.
oh wow, cool. Then,
He's
yeah,
loaded. Like we can
Then
make this a problem.
Then forget
Or
that about having $13. I didn't bring any money.
Yeah, I
Can you
literally
pay
don't have
me?
any money.
Pay my way.
I will gripe about this in the background. I probably won't actually. I'm going to gripe about this a little bit.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, the character is griping about this more than I will be.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's, like a low laying muttering of just
Yeah.
Yeah.
continual griping. Got it.
Mhm.
Oh, well,
So yeah, I would go up to the bouncer and be like, I'm going to show you all how they used to cut a rug back in my day. Let these youths know what's up. Go up there and I just go up to the bouncer and I do like the how have you been as if I've been there before, and I shake his hand and I like just palm him like $50.
I need you to try to make an agility check because this is clearly a normies only club. Does not like vampires. You come up with your crusty ass self talking about cutting a jig, not even really hiding the fact that you are just an ancient Methuselah. Let's see if you can even connect with his hand before he recoils in horror.
I straight up am borrowing that line for future use, by the way. Let me show you how they used to cut a rug back in my day.
I rolled a 17.
oh,
Yeah, so
nice.
you latch on to this guy's hand, and you can see he's just kind of squealing a bit. It's a big, tough bouncer guy, and he's just maybe it's the fact that you haven't trimmed your nails in forever, and
Oh,
there's
yeah.
various things crawling under
My
your
weapon
nails.
is claws, so yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Nailed it.
Yeah. It's just yeah.
Like you can see
Did you
that your
tickle his palm
nails.
with your long middle claw while you're shaking? Like
No, it's his pinky claw that he kind of just tucks up a little bit.
Yeah,
He kind of does one of those.
it's like
numbers.
right against his blood vessels. He doesn't
Yeah.
feel the money. He just feels like, oh no, like this is bad.
And then the hand comes away, and it's like, oh shit, 50.
The which one
stick
did you
and
do?
then the
The
carrot.
one who's giving the gropes, or the one who's been looking at IDs?
The one who's been looking at IDs.
The
They're not going to grope off to the ID.
I would actually. I want you to roll me 2d6. I want to see if what
Alright.
you do with if you could just make him have a morale break. And I will give you advantage on one of those dice because you've slipped a 50.
All right, that's a 6 and a 3, so I'm going to reroll the 3. That's a 5, so 11.
All right. So with a combination of horror and also $50, the dude just drops his little black blacklight flashlight. And he's like, looks at the other guy and goes, "I'm taking my cigarette break. You deal with the freak." And he shakes off the various body lice off of the 50 and then puts it in his pocket. And as he goes down the alley, you see him start to scratch himself.
good. I'm
Ooh.
glad he got lice.
Yeah.
The other guy's like, what you gonna do for me, boss? I ain't letting your shit ass in here.
So I have a question for the GM. I was looking through that handy dandy like one sheet reference as to how you can do moves and abilities. Excellent design from this game from World Champ Game Company. But I don't see the word intimidate. Is that something that you can do using presence?
You could, so that's kind of in the Borg universe. That's really up to GM discretion if you want to have that be a strength check of a presence. Kind of
Mhm.
you're either flexing hard or using a weapon, or if you're just brandishing your wits. I just imagined that this seemed like it'd be a more fun scene with here's a big, scary, crusty claw dude who
Yeah.
just clamps your hand in a vice grip and it just slips you a 50. You wouldn't know what to do with yourself. You'd be like, all right,
Yep.
screw it.
Yeah. No, I was asking for me because I
Oh, yeah.
wanted to intimidate
Okay.
the groping guy, but
I love it. Tell me what you want to do.
I want to get like real close to his face, like not even inches away, like this close to his face, and just mutter so that he can hear me, and I'll say, "What we'll do for you is we won't rip your arms and fucking legs off and drink your blood while you're still alive and eat your eyeballs while you're still alive and maybe even part of your brain while you're still alive. That's what we'll do for you, Chief. How does that sound?"
I love that. I would say if it's better, you could do a presence, and I'd say just make that DR 10 because you are up close and he is by himself now.
Dope. Let me set my modifiers on that because I did not have oh, no modifier. Okay, cool. Come on.
Or if
Oh
you want
my
to do it as
God.
what?
I rolled a nat 1 on that.
Oh,
I think we're about to enter combat.
so how did you fuck that up exactly? What is it about maybe your dirt history or something else that just goes terribly wrong?
Oh, I forgot to say it in human. I was trying to intimidate him in
That?
no, in salamander. I learned salamander so that I could talk them into coming over to my place and then drain their blood. But so like, I'm saying all that scary shit and all he hears is like so,
Insert salamander noise here.
yeah. I'm assuming that's what they sound like. And more or less like a turkey. And yeah, so that's not quite as intimidating as like threatening to rip his arms and legs off.
I love it. So he doesn't want to deal with your shit at all. He just goes to cold cock you right in the face. So roll me your defense. So that's going to be a DR 12 agility.
There's my trusty. Oh, DR12 agility check. I see. I got you. Okay.
So yeah, rolling D20 and trying to
Gotcha.
get 12 or higher, you have no modifier to your agility. So you're raw dogging it.
I am not doing great tonight. That's a 5.
So he punches you hard in the face.
Not the first time, and it won't be the last.
Ooh, all right. Roll. Actually, I'll go ahead. Well, he not only punches you once, he grabs you by the collar, and you see he's pulling his hand back to punch you a second time. He goes, "Told you freaks to get out of here. No vamps." Roll me another agility check to see if you can bob your head away.
Bobbing and weaving. Does someone want to give me a little help here?
Do you want to dive in and take that attack since you're right next to him, Seraphin?
It's too late to try and bribe him. So, yeah.
You can bribe him with a sock full of quarters.
Yeah, that's true. This guy's really old, so it's probably like that much money, but it's like gold doubloons and stuff. It's within reason to expect that this money isn't
Gonna
like
brain you with a sock full of
coins.
doubloons.
It's just a bunch of hay pennies, just tying some knickers or whatever.
Yeah, I would definitely claws out. Lockpicking says it's not gonna help.
Yeah, it's either you choose in this case.
Yeah, I choose to step in because I've got
that means you're taking it on the chin.
You're gonna be taking his hit.
I got a denim vest that gives me a D-2 armor.
Oh wow,
Right,
cool.
so you're offering to step in and take the hit for him. I will say
my denim leisure suit.
I will count that as a promise. So that means you have 1 in your tank,
Cool.
I know I'm kind of bending the rule, but I think that's in the spirit of camaraderie and eternal living together in a dumpster. That would count. So you will have won the bank, but you're going to take his punch. So that is a D6 to you, Vikram, for damage, and a D6 to you, Seraphim, for damage.
D6 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I rolled a 1, and then I do -2, so I do I
Fuck
heal?
my goddamn eyeballs. So
I
it's
can-
all ones and twos on my D20. I roll my D6, natural 6.
Oh, I also rolled a 6 if I was rolling for if you wanted me to roll for you. So
No, it's okay. I'll just take the I think I've got enough HP to absorb.
you
it.
have
Yeah,
the most
yeah.
HP in the group. So
I do. I'm
sucker
good.
punches you, and Seraphim just apparently grabs his other fist and his claws. While this is happening, we will consider to be initiative. We'll go in initiative order here in a second, unless Egon, did you want to do anything particular as you're seeing this this happen? Do you want to step into the combat, or are you wanting to stay unnoticed?
So what I'm going to do is I see this is starting to go down. I'm like, I don't want to really be a part of this, so I'm going to follow the other bouncer into the alley. Hey, boss, let me get a smoke.
Are you saying off the bouncer?
Yeah, off the bouncer. And as I'm saying that, I'm sliding the bolt cutters out of my sleeve into my hand.
All right. He turns and looks at you, and you see that he is now using both hands to scratch violently up and down his legs, and he goes, "A little busy. Piss off."
All right. I would like to take the bolt cutters and connect with him in a violent manner.
I will say he is not expecting that, as he is occupied scraping lice off his junk.
Okay. Oh, that's a 19.
All right. So
oh my.
There is this loud thunk sound. All of the hipsters that have been in line watching this happen, the other ones that are, there is a couple down this alley further that are drinking bottles of, you think it's beer or something. They'll stop and look at you as you brain in the side of this bouncer. Roll me your damage.
Okay, that is a D8 for bolt cutters. I like that.
Damn.
I have 8. That's a 4.
All right. Not wearing any armors. He takes the full 4 of that. We'll do a quick scene with you. We'll go to the others, and we'll just do these 2 actions, side by side. He just, for a second, he just looks stunned, and then like there's a delayed reaction. Oh, probably he's being buffeted by some amount of drugs to deaden some of that pain. He lunges out at you. Roll me an agility DR 14.
Oh. That's a 16 plus 1, 17.
All right. So he tries to go into the grappler move to get your center of gravity. He means to do something that's seriously bodily harm to you, but you definitely move out of the way. As you are shifting around the alley, you notice a couple of things. You see that there is a back entrance, and there is a manhole that is this exuding steam that smells like sulfur and maybe cat piss and tea tree oil.
Could I grapple this guy and up my blood score? Like, can I feed off him?
That? You can. We'll do that next round.
Okay,
so
perfect.
top. He's gonna say top of the next round. We'll go in the order of Vikram. Well, I'll do Seraphim, Bouncer, Vikram, and then it'll be Egon and Bouncer. So Seraphim, you started off this initial encounter. You can continue.
So one of my things that it looks like I can do 3 times is I can pause time.
Whoa!
It costs you 3 blood.
I have 1 blood. Okay, that was my
because that is one of your spell zines, and that's a pretty powerful one. But
Yeah.
since you have 1 blood, you could use your other ability, which is body aberration.
Whoa, cool.
Wow.
So basically, you would just unshackle your undead soul from your body, and as a undetectable phantom, you would just get to go through the world like a ghost. You can't physically interact with things, but you can see things, you can observe, but your body is like a bunch of wet rags heaped on the floor.
That's not much use in combat.
Yeah, that would be useful later. Right
Right.
now, I don't know if that's gonna help. All right, so we got this guy. I guess I will claw at his throat and hopefully get some blood if I can.
All right, so you're
Yeah.
trying to feed on him?
Yes.
All right. Then in that case, go ahead and make me an attack. Well, make me a strength check.
Uh-huh.
So I'm assuming that's
A 7.
okay. So you lean in to bite, and he just pushes your face out of the way, just puts his fingers in your eyes, and just shoves you back. He still is holding like Vikram with like one hand. He's pushing you back with the other. Vikram,
Man,
I
they-
should
they-
keep the
They did a good job hiring these bouncers.
They have some pretty high stats here.
Yeah.
These humans mean business to keep out the vamps. Vikram, I should break. You really should be the initiative because I did vampire, then bouncer. So, what action do you want to do? He's holding you around like the collar, holding you in place.
I would like to stick a switchblade through his neck sideways.
That is a way to get blood for sure.
Yep, and I've got a switchblade. So, on the attack, you want me to make a strength check?
A strength check, so that is +1 to your D20 you're rolling.
And as the viewers at home can see, I don't trust my hand rolls anymore, so we're going to properly randomize that. And it didn't work because I rolled a 7.
Now, you do have one promise that you could burn.
Yeah, I'm going to burn our promise to, what, reroll?
Reroll.
And I don't trust my goddamn rolly thing. It's just been shit tonight. Okay, now we're talking. All right, that is a 19.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So he is distracted, pushing his fingers into the eyes of Seraphim. So you get him right across the neck. So roll me D4 for damage. And if you want me to roll in these dice for convenience,
no,
happy
I've
to
got
do
a D4 right here, the spiky one. Okay. Oh, and I promptly dropped it on the floor. Well, I will undoubtedly step on it later. So yes, please roll that for me.
Well, you're about to take D4 damage at some point.
Yeah.
I rolled a 4. So
Hey.
you slash him across the neck. If you want, since you're in close quarter and for just montaging, if you want to feed on him, I will let you.
Can I actually let another party member feed on him even if I like do the injury? Because I'm almost at full on my blood. And
but that would also heal you a bit if you need it.
Okay, yeah. In that case, I do want to feed on him.
Okay. Then I will just say if you want to kind of do this extra action, it would just lower your defense for next time he attacks.
No worries.
All right. So you launch on his neck, you get D2 units. You roll me D2. That's the damage that you drain from him. That's the amount of units of blood you get, and you heal back D4. And
one unit, which is perfect because that.
And I rolled another 4 again.
And rolled another D4 again. Okay, hang on 1 second.
So that's I rolled a D4, and it was 4.
And that's how many points of damage I get back. Gotcha.
Correct.
All right, I am looking pretty good.
All right, he's going to roll me an agility DR 16.
Okay. Oof, 11.
All right. He picks you up by the waist and he throws you 10 feet away,
What the
And-
fuck?
inflicting just 1 point of damage. And he said,
I'm not sure these bouncers are just human.
Yeah.
Like, throwing me 10 feet, stats this high. All right, that's fine. We'll take him down. It's all good.
you yell to you, and stay out.
That's his finishing move.
He looks over at Seraphim and he goes, all right, old man, you're going to cough up some dough or I'm going to fuck you up just like your friend. What do you want to do? You want to dance?
If I cough up the dough, you'll let me in?
You have to cough up a lot of dough.
Also, we don't need to go in because we've got the scent in the alleyway.
I don't know that.
Well, I
Yeah,
would have told you that had I remembered it was a manhole. Just because you can smell everything and know where everything is doesn't mean that the omniscient GM does.
Ah, so in other words, you should have caught the scent from the manhole.
That is
Yeah.
absolutely correct. I was waiting
Yeah.
for this combat to end so I could retcon and correct my error.
Yeah, no worries.
You're forgiven.
Paschke, you can not give them a bunch of money for no reason if you don't want to. That was a lot of a lot of negatives. Like
So what
3,
I'm
4?
hearing is don't pay the guy. It's not worth their time anymore.
Yeah.
Right? All right. I pull out like $10 and I'm just like, sorry about the trouble. And I walk away.
He's just bleeding profusely out the side of his neck.
I
Bitten
give him
by a vampire.
$10. It's fine now. I paid the guy off.
He can
My
use the
copay is
$10
more
bill
than
to-
this asshole.
And your employer should cover it with their insurance. This isn't my problem.
I'm a W9.
Welcome. That's your fault for being a fucking idiot.
All right.
he really fucked up by throwing me because, like, if he'd kept me close and if he'd yelled at me, he might have been justified. I slashed him, but no.
Egon,
Yeah.
so you just clock this bouncer over the head. He's trying to put you in some type of like grappling move, and you moved out of the way. He looks like he's reaching in his pocket, or maybe it's to scratch himself again, and maybe he's going to pull out like a weapon or something. What do you want to do?
I'm behind him or in front of him?
Oh, you're
Because
in
I know
front of him.
I'm
He
in front
turned
of him.
around and he tried to grapple you.
Okay. I'm going to.
Kick him in the raisins.
Right. I'm gonna look at him as like, when was the last time you listened to that song "Sailing" by Christopher Cross? That is such a great song. And as I'm saying that, I'm going to just lunge at him and try to bite him in the neck.
Never let us see him coming. All right, then go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Yacht Rock Vampire is flawless. No
that's
notes.
That's my new one. That's
Yeah.
a 15 on
You
the
get him.
die.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So
So you roll D2 for damage. That's how many units of blood you recover, and you heal D4 damage if you need it.
that was a 1, so I am at 3 blood, and I have not taken damage. So I'm still at full.
Kevin, let's write a script called Yacht Rock Vampires.
Dude, I am in. I am
That
in.
I'm willing to bet that that could be a Shudder original within 2 years if we applied ourselves.
Making another note.
All right,
Excellent.
so you just latch onto his neck and start bleeding him dry. He tries to both scrabble and pull you off while also occasionally still reaching down to violently scratch himself. You're pretty sure that some of the body lice from Seraphim have also now spread from him to you.
Oh, that's something we'll deal with later.
Yeah.
Quick question. Since I'm a vampire and I have body lice and they feed off of you, are the body lice vampires? Is he becoming a vampire?
That you, in order to be turned as a vampire, you have to drink the blood of a vampire and sing the turning song.
Yep.
So no.
One of my favorite details of this universe.
Did you sing the turning song to your body lice that are feeding off of you? To turn them on to little
Yes?
vampires?
No. Did my son accidentally sing the turning song to me a total of 1,156 years ago? Has the turning song changed over the millennia?
Well, if you want to,
It's been translated into English for one thing.
I really feel like it doesn't
English
work
didn't
unless it's an
exist
old German.
1,156 years ago.
I will, if for fun, we can see how this plays out. If you want to have a little quick back thing and say you did, if you want to vampirically infect your body lice.
I mean, if I'm gonna have body lice, yes, I'm gonna sing the turning
Right.
song to them. I would probably at least sing it in my sleep without realizing it, and at least a handful would be vampiric body lice.
Amazing.
Well, so Paschke, I am putting in the song into the chat there.
Why are we calling them
boy.
body lice instead of crabs, by the way?
Well, because there are various things you can
Okay.
have. So, if you would like to make up your own melody to that or give it your best shot.
All right, here we go. Rise under pitch black and is that a real cough or is that the character coughing? I don't know.
Hey, you got to start with from.
From the fallen. Now I'm becoming Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh, I love it.
From the fallen, rise under pitch black empty skies. The earth.
This is why I said I wouldn't do it, Ian.
I'm loving this.
I gotta.
We have a fucking song we've got to perform in a cold read live on air, and 2/3 of your cast has a visual or
Yeah,
the earth I'm trying not to laugh.
He is a cruel
The earth
god.
expels. It's. I can't stop laughing.
I'll do a cold read for you, and we can wrap up this scene.
Will you set it to a little tune for us, Ian?
Oh, it won't be to a tune because
what if we beatbox it for you, Ian?
Ooh, this is what it's gonna be like a 1980s like fast food info training.
Look, it's like the Addams Family.
Wendy's.
You gotta rap when it's something creepy.
So from the top, I'll just do a spoken word. From the fallen, rise. Under pitch black empty skies, the earth expels its ichor to satiate the sick. An eternity we ride for crimson decide, a life long after loss for a soulless empty cross. No gods, no masters, no release, only disaster forevermore. After such a recital, the subject must ingest the blood of the performing vampire. What happens afterwards is a violent illness and oblivion, death for all the world to see. Then, on the night of the next new full moon, the newly formed vampire awakens.
So you get rid of your lice for at least 30 days.
This implies that he eats at least one of the lice.
We will do a quick montage series where we'll just say the guy has semi-vampiric-ish body lice that are just burrowing, festering, and eventually he scampers off, allowing you to have access to the club.
But we don't need access to the club.
We figured that out.
We're gonna go check out that piss stinking manhole in the alley. Like any sensible person would do.
I just wanted to mess up this NPC's future. So if anyone ever thinks that they want to have a bouncer in their game, well, body lice turned him into a vampire. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in the metaverse that we just spawned, that guy will go on to be a vampire, since we are the gods who just created him.
Yeah.
Well, someone needs to sing him the turning song.
I thought that's what I was just doing.
Oh, I thought that was your backstory to your lice. How you were singing to your previous lice to make
mean,
the next fear.
Yeah,
The
okay.
lice would have to
Paschke's
sing to
song
the man.
resonates through time.
I mean, they
All
sing
right.
it in little lice speech.
Oh,
So it's more like
yeah, yeah,
so it sounds like salamander speech.
yeah, but more high pitched.
yeah.
So the door that you're standing by is a back entrance into the back part of the club, and sounds like it's very close to the stage. Again, you can't quite tell if this band is warming up or they're actually playing. It's just gosh awful. The manhole that's on the ground below you is just giving off noxious city steam. You can, with your scent seraphim, you can get the scent of the cat piss and the
Tea tree oil.
tea tree oil. I want to say patchouli because that's what I would like. I would just think tea tree oil. It's coming from both places. It's more faded and muted coming from the manhole below you than it is through the door, but it's more distant. The scents are strange. Something is changing the scent in both directions, but it's more changed and filtered and muted coming from the manhole below you.
All right, mutant from the manhole. So that means we should go inside now. We got a back door in.
We could do every GM's favorite thing and divide the party, but one of us would be flying solo. So
Up to you.
let's stick together and just explore the. You know what? I bet the club is at least going to be more interesting than the manhole. I don't know. I leave it up to you guys. I'm torn.
I mean, we get in the club. I get enough body lice all over all the people. Steal the microphone. I try to sing that song again.
True. I was going to mesmerize everyone there, and I'm chock full of blood, so I can do it.
I was going to rifle through the bouncer's pocket, get his Zippo, throw the lit Zippo at the band, watch it burn, and then go into the manhole because pyromania. But, I mean, if we got to go into the club, then we could burn that place down later.
Yeah, like on our way out, you can light the curtains or whatever. It'll be like that. What was the concert that burned the whole Great White? It'll be like that Great White show. Yeah.
As a quick aside, a game that I think that would be fun to play on the podcast, I brought this up a long time ago, is a itch game that was released 4 years ago from Planarian. What's so bad about being shrunk down to exterminate Dracula's demonic crotch crickets? It is about exterminating crabs from Dracula's taint.
Is that title a translation from Japanese, or was that an English titled game?
It was for kind of a jam back in the day about like what's so cool about outer space, and they changed it to be what's so
Okay.
Oh my god! I'm looking at it now. The hashtags are crab lice, hashtag pube crawl.
Pube crawl.
I mean, I'm in.
Yeah, that one's going on my wish list. That's.
Remember that time John asked us to do him proud for this?
What an idiot! I would argue that we are.
There he is.
Okay, so back on track. Are we going down the manhole or are we going in the club? Because I'm good either way.
If we go in the club, I can use my powers to mesmerize people and see if we have any witnesses.
I vote for the club.
Let's do the club. If you get on mic, does it project to everybody?
In the club, I would imagine. Yeah.
Okay. I'm in.
Yeah. All right, cool. No more bouncers, so let's
Is there a like loot the body sort of thing, or can I just get that lighter?
We never do that ever on this show, and that's a really good idea.
Rarely loot bodies. I am thinking
almost never.
For how strong these bouncers are, I figured that he would run off. You only did D2 extra damage, or 2 damage times. So you did 6 damage to him. So we just imagine that there's some type of scuffle and he runs off and you don't kill him.
Okay.
Shucks. Okay.
But the night is still young. There are plenty of other people to kill inside the club.
True.
Hooray.
Bodies to loot.
Bodies to loot.
All right. Well, let's go in with all of our like fetid crust punk vampire riz on full blast. And I'm just gonna beeline for the stage. I imagine that humans are going to recoil from me. The pointy ears, the having lived in darkness and slime for so long, the hunch, the pallor. Like, it's pretty clear what I am. And as you've mentioned, everyone hates us. So unless an audience member attacks me, I'm just going to try and bowl my way straight for the stage.
Sure. Let me describe what the inside of this club looks like so then
Yeah,
everyone else can
absolutely.
figure out their plan of attack. When you enter into the back entrance, the stage is immediately on your left. The band is just in the process of wrapping up something that could be described as a quote unquote song. They're just awful. The entire time you thought they were just tuning their instruments, that was actually them playing. There is also a mosh pit. If you could say there are a few dozen people that are just swaying, bumping into each other, maybe just out of boredom
Mm.
in front of the stage. They don't seem to be really in tune with the music. To the left of the stage is a staircase leading down into the lower level of the club. Next to that is where the bar is. There is a short line of people that are, looks like they keep pointing to a sign that says what today's special is and then coming back with a styrofoam cup full of something. There are in the corner there's 2 doors marked for the restroom. And other than that, it's just mostly very intoxicated, perfectly normal humans. Even though their hate radiates off of them, you can just smell the blood thumping in their veins, and it smells mostly delicious. But there's also, for Seraphim, you pick up something really weird about this whole place. The cups that you see a lot of these humans carrying, it smells like blood, and not fresh human blood. It smells slightly like vampire blood.
Oh, someone's gonna do the goddamn turning song from stage and create a whole crowd full of like lesser vampire minions. That's actually brilliant. And I was actually gonna suggest that some band that we're friends with make like a song where they do the lyrics as the turning song, because I think that'd be fun. Well, yeah, we gotta stop that shit. We don't want these scumbag yuppie fucknuts fucking up our cool vampire stuff.
Yeah, or switch out that blood with our blood.
Vampires is for the streets, baby.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, what order of operations do you want to go? Do we want to do round robin? Because I heard Vikram declare, and actually might want to do. I haven't. I know Egon, you're wanting to get a lighter, and Seraphim. Have you figured out what you want to do?
Well, I'm trying to track down our
Okay.
lost roommate, so I can tell him to take care of their fucking cat.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll be able to take care of that as soon as I like push the singer out of the way and get the microphone.
I make my way to the middle of the dance floor, pop the collar on my 1970s denim leisure suit.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I get ready
Yeah.
to bust a move and show these kids.
The reason why I ask that is that if Vikram's going up to the stage and then making their presence known, it's going to disrupt normal club operations. I want to make sure that is the correct order of operations before. I don't care. I just want to make sure.
Let's pretend
know
we're talking this over in the alley right before we bust through the door. What you should do, Paschke, whose character's name I've written, I know Leech, but I've forgotten your.
It's fine. Leech
Seraphim.
works.
Okay, yeah. You should bar the exit so that people can't escape my like before I get a chance to mesmerize them.
Okay, so I can freeze time. I can freeze time before you get ready to mesmerize them, then bar the exits. That way, no one catches on that I barred it.
Do you have enough blood to do that?
Need 3
Has to be
minutes.
3.
I gotta get 3. So I need 2 more blood. I could find some like wallflower off to the side, like without confidence, and be like, go up to him like, "Hey, let me show you how to get the
Ruby.
ladies. And then I will just like,
Chomp on them.
yeah,
Okay. All right. So that's what you want to do, and then Egon, what is it that you'd like to do?
So I'm going to change up my plan. Is there a dumpster in this alleyway?
Further down the alleyway, there's a dumpster, and you see slumped next to it are a couple of blacked out punks. You see,
Oh,
they've got,
shit!
like some type of box of beer or something next to them.
Paschke,
Beautiful.
it's a snack pack.
I'm going to point over to the snack pack over there and head over to the dumpster. And I would like to use my scavenger power. It says I make use of tools that others can't fathom. When dumpster diving, spend 1 blood to get an extra piece of trash once per dive.
Okay.
So what? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, then let's do that. Well,
Okay.
then we'll do Seraphim's action and then Vikram's, and then that will go in a great chronological order. So go ahead and dive me for some junk, Egon.
Okay. That's knock
You
off.
little junk diver, you.
I am a little dumpster diver, baby. Is it a roll? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So for dumpster diving, you're going to be rolling a 2d6 and then d10 because it is a chart.
Okay.
So that is on page 83.
Okay.
So your d6 is for quality, your next d6 is for the material, and the d10 is for the item.
Okay. So first 6 is a 1. Second 6 is a 6. And the d10 is a 5.
So your first thing is a rotting arcane radio.
Cool.
And are you wanting to spend a point of blood to get a second item?
Sure.
Keep in mind too, if you have 2 items, you can use your other ability where you can combine junk together.
Mhm. I'm sorry, what was the first thing? A rotting arcane.
A rotting arcane radio.
Arcane implies that it has like occult properties to me.
That's what I was picking up. All right.
I
Yes.
need me one of those.
First one is a 3. Second one is a 2, and the D10 is a 9.
So you have rolled a soaked off-brand cassette.
Is it mine? Is it the one I've been looking for? Is
You
it the
tell
one with
me.
the bad vocals?
Is it?
Is your quest is fulfilled, I believe, my friend.
Can it be?
You said you tell
he
him.
said it's up to you.
Yeah, it is up to you.
I found it.
Yeah.
Finally, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I come over, I'm like slapping you on the back. You did a great job finding that thing.
Finally.
Can't wait to hear
That-
it.
No, we're not listening to this. I'm going to take this. I'm going to shove it up the fucking producer's ass because he made me sound like a fucking asshole with this thing.
Okay.
Who puts the bass up too high? And the keyboards, my God, the keyboards. Oh,
No such thing as bass up too high. I say
no,
as a bass
but,
player.
I mean,
Yeah.
as a bass player myself, I
Yeah.
say that. Either way, okay. So
For all bass players here.
we're all bass players. at heart.
It's true. Even John and the very first Wandering Monster co-host, Lemons, also a bass player.
Lemons
You
doesn't
know,
exist. Ian learned bass.
yeah, I realized too that there are additional charts for more dumpster diving on 84 and 85. So you may have been some even better stuff that you could have gotten if I would have rolled on other charts, but you found the thing that you've been looking for. So I
Perfect.
think that works well.
That counts as a
Yeah.
win. This rotting arcane radio is it doing anything or?
Well, it will need either batteries or to be plugged in.
And then you can hear Alistair from Has-Been Hotel.
I love it. That was fantastic.
Perfect.
I
Okay.
love that. The Helliverse is my shit. I love it.
If we find a fresh dumpster or something else, then we can do more dumpster diving where you roll presence DR 12, and then for every success you do, you get D10 on top of your dumpster dive roll that then lets you get more and better stuff. So we can adjust that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Seraphim, you wanted to enter in and go to the middle of that mosh pit. Pop
Wait,
your
wait, wait,
collar.
wait.
Yeah, the snack pack by the dumpster was
Oh,
yeah,
was
before we
mentioned.
enter.
Pardons. So by snack pack, do you mean the beer or the two passed out guys?
Well, the beer's
passed.
already in the passed out guys, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's I
Then-
just hope they're not O negative. It gives me heartburn. I already got it from the last guy. I don't want to get it any worse. I get all phlegmy on top of it, and just what were they drinking? Old English? Oh shit!
It's very
I love
Old English.
OE. Yeah.
When you see one the speckled hen in there as well, you go ahead and do your feeding, and then Egon, did you want to rifle their pockets to see if they have a lighter?
Yes, please. I would like to loot the bodies.
Then go ahead, roll me presence DR12.
Okay.
Wandering Monster does not approve of robbing passed out punk kids.
So on my Vast Grim dice, there's a little skull, and that means it's a 20, so I rolled that.
Fuck yes.
Then, I will go ahead and kind of do the correct chart rolling for dumpster diving on here, because there's the different charts. So go ahead and, since you rolled a nat 20 on that, go ahead and roll me. Go ahead and roll me 2d10. Add them together.
2d10. All right. That is 13.
All right. You find in the pocket of this punk, you think it might be a huge lighter. It's a mason jar, a small mason jar, and there is a still living tarantula inside.
Cool.
It locks all of its beady eyes. It's missing one of them, but it locks the rest of them on you, and you think it's talking to you.
It gave one up for wisdom.
Okay.
Or maybe a spider would have to give up 4 eyes for wisdom.
I'm gonna look at it and I'll just stuff it in my coat pocket.
You hear some muffled sound as you try to put. It's thick glass.
Okay.
It's trying to sell you beastables, dude.
Is there holes in the top of the mason jar so it can breathe?
Nope.
Somebody doesn't know how to take care of spiders. Let me think on what I want to do with this spider, and we can.
Well,
All right.
do you want to
While you're
listen to
thinking
what it
about
has to
that-
say? Like,
I do. I do, but I don't want to soak up the spotlight too much.
Okay, all right. Soak it up, baby.
Okay. All right, fuck. I'll crack the lid.
Fucking finally.
Well, what the hell's your name?
It's hot as ass in here, man.
I bet. They didn't have any holes in here. They don't know how to take care of spiders.
No.
I'll put
Can you let me out? I want to bite that guy.
the little crust punk right
Yeah,
here.
I want to bite that guy. I want to run some of my hairs on him.
Fuck yeah. And I will gently
Rubbing his little palps.
tilt the jar over so that the tarantula's in my hand, and I will
Yeah.
gently place it on top of the little punk kid.
So you just pulls the guy's shirt up, and the top of his crack down starts jamming his leg, and you see when he pulls it out, it's covered in sweat, but all of those bristly hairs are
That's gonna suck.
detached.
Yep.
And then he just bites him on both cheeks and says, "That'll learn the fucker." He's gotta love it when he wakes up.
Well done. What's
You just,
do you want to hang out, or you gonna bounce out?
yeah, no, let's you take me for a ride. Just give me a sip of that old English.
Hell yeah.
I'm not gonna stop you here.
Dude, yeah, we picked up a crust punk spider. This
Yeah,
is
and
the
he's from
shit.
the same neighborhood as us.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not easy being a familiar these days. People
what's-
treat you like shit.
What's your name,
Well-
Spider?
Oh, finally, someone wants to know what the spider's name is. First
hell yeah, I
off,
want to know.
tarantula.
Sorry,
Some of them
pardon me. I
call-
didn't mean to misspecies you.
That's okay. You can see that his hairs are getting already regrow.
Terry.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna drop my gravelly voice and just talk normal for a while. well, Terry, like I don't know if you want to be a familiar to one of us being like a free and easy type of
Familiar.
guy.
I hardly even know you.
Yeah, exactly. So just if you want to kick it with us and like as an equal partner, we're about to go mesmerize a whole crowd of dum-dums if you want to watch that.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Jeez, use a smoke.
Does do any of us have smokes? I didn't see any in my inventory.
Smoking wasn't invented when I was turned into a vampire.
Well, me neither, but I think we smoked like rolled up seaweed or some shit in the sewers and wells. Yeah, I don't think any of us have a smoke. I bet the crust punks do though. So rifle them and
We'll say that you go ahead and you get a lighter off of them. So, Seraphim, do you want to go ahead with your planks? I want to make sure that
Yeah, so are we taking
Time
as read
Lord?
that I
Yeah.
fed off of both of them to get me the 3
okay.
time stopper biddles?
Vittles.
All right. So you're going to go ahead and use your spell.
That's gonna
Zine.
put you in a coma though, keep in mind.
That's fine. It's for the like.
And I'll give you a unit of the blood that I've got stored up afterwards so that
Okay.
you can revive.
Oh, he doesn't go to 0 H. It's not going to drop into 0 HP. So it's going to be at 0.
Oh, I thought it was 0 blood was also when we because we started out with 0 blood. All right, you'll
Correct.
be fine.
You
Yeah.
can go to negative if like a vampire bites and drains you. That's kind of a different situation.
Right.
This is more power based. So you're going to go ahead and cast your spell.
Well, I was gonna wait till the time was right. In the meantime, I'm gonna go cut a rug while everyone else gets ready.
Okay.
So it's like a hell action, but gotta
Yeah.
go show these little whippersnappers how to actually boogie.
You hear Terrence go, yeah.
Cool. All right. You guys go have some fun, and then I'll give you the signal when the time is right. So we'll just do a montage of Terry and Leech dancing because I imagine like Terry's getting down too.
Oh yeah,
With 8 legs, like you could do
Oh,
some
yeah.
pretty fucking
Mad
awesome
dance
dance
moves.
moves. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
watch this guy do the worm. It's incredible.
Yeah, and then at some point I like kind of twitch one of my big ass bat boy ears like to let him know that the time is right. And I'll wait for Paschke to freeze time for me to rush the stage.
Yeah, so I'll bar the door and yeah, what else did I need to do other than barring the door?
I think you have to cast freeze time first and
Yeah.
successfully.
You get 1 minute where you're the only person that gets to interact with time, basically.
Yeah. So I didn't see anything that okay. Number is cast in blood.
So you basically are spending your 3 blood, and then you're
Yeah.
going to be rolling d6 to see if you get to keep your scroll or your spell, or if you lose it.
I rolled a 4.
Okay, so you keep it.
Cool.
Okay.
So in your 1 minute, bar the door and punch the lead singer who's at the microphone in the raisins as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, since time is frozen, bar the door, run up to the stage, drink blood from the lead singer, shove him out of the way.
Can you do all that in 1 minute?
Vampires are
'cause, I mean,
quick.
that's going to be up and close. So when you say bar the door, you have the front entrance, the back entrance that you'd be coming through, and then you have an open stairwell down below.
The open stairwell worries me. I'm not too worried about the back entrance. I think considering that I'm gonna be like at the microphone and doing my thing pretty quick, I don't think we have to worry too much about like mass exodus through other floors or whatever. I think if we just get the main entrance,
Yeah,
like,
most people
stick
came in
something
through
in
there.
the
They're gonna panic and
handles.
go
Yeah.
that way.
Yep.
And until the crowd goes there and like gets jammed up, then they'll start to go, oh shit, what's the other exit? At that point, it's too late.
Yeah, but by then I'll have them under my sway because it's a pretty foolproof power.
Something that may affect what you want to do. Just since Seraphim would be aware, as they are in the middle of the mosh pit crowd thing. It's the most boring mosh pit. If that's probably an oxymoron. The cups that the humans are drinking out of, and you hear them talking about how good the special is. You hear them talk about taste of death. It has a faint scent of cat piss and tea tree oil to it.
They're bleeding Terry.
Fuck no. I think Terry's pulling a Jack Moon.
Oh, not
here,
Terry. No, I'm
maybe.
sorry, Dakota.
Dakota. Yeah. Terry's lit.
Fuckers talking about me.
Yeah,
No. We're good, bud. We're good.
Do you want pears?
Like maybe I don't think they're
Maybe
bleeding, Dakota. Getting other people to ingest your blood is how you turn them.
Is this all Dakota's plan?
I think it might be. Well, do we want to stop him then? Because like, imagine, that fucker's not gonna pay the rent forever in our place. This just means he's gonna get like a fancy new place. That dick.
Yeah, we can't have Dakota bailing on us.
Let's fucking foil his plan.
This was our parasitic relationship with
That's
Dakota.
right. Yeah,
we're not gonna let these assholes have one.
Right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let's put the plan in action and see how it plays out.
All right. What is the final plan? Since I heard a couple of quick things.
I bar doors.
Yep.
Go
And he's
front
also
and back.
Yep.
Punch the guy in the raisins.
Yep.
Drain his blood.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
And then I fly into action and seize the microphone while the dude's nursing is. You should bite him in the raisins and drain the blood that way.
One fang each.
Yeah, do it. That would be highly entertaining. And
First of all, you get swimmers if you go that route, and I gotta say, it's not good for the larynx. Just thinking about it. His voice is not.
It would be like the cottage cheese of blood.
No.
All right. Fair point. I just thought it would be funny. It
would be if you want cottage cheese.
Yeah. Blow to the raisins, drain his blood, and then I do my thing.
All right. So you've already drain your blood, you freeze time, you punch the guy hard in the raisins, and even though like time is still collapsed upon itself and you're working through the seconds, you can hear the very high-pitched falsetto cry begin to queue up in the back of his throat as time is slowed. You drain his blood, so you get D2 units of blood and your D4 hit points back, which I don't think you've really taken much in the way of damage yet. And time resumes.
Okay.
This guy was middle of finishing the song, the final lyric, so he just screeches into the microphone unless you pull it away, Vikram.
I pull it away, and vampires are stronger than humans, right?
Depends on the type of vampire you are in this.
Fair enough.
Dirts, I believe, are some of the stronger ones.
Yeah, let me see what my strength is. Do you want me to do a strength check?
Oh, no, he just got punched in the raisins. He's not.
Oh, okay.
You could just pull it right out from his hands.
All right, yeah, I do. And then I initiate Messiah speech. So for our viewers / listeners at home, this is a pretty cool power for the Dirt class. Messiah's speech, your character possesses an otherworldly magnetism to surface dwellers that hasn't been felt for centuries. Spend 1 blood to capture the attention of all within hearing distance. They fall silent and listen intently to your speech, willing to believe even the most absurd lies you tell. So I immediately, the first thing I say is I don't want to say just ladies. So I'm people freeze, you're under detention. And then proceeding from there, I tell them that I am an agent. This is for my Doom Patrol fans out there. I'm an agent with the Bureau of Normalcy. And we've been informed that there is a severe level of abnormality going on in this bar that must be adjusted unless everybody wants to be detained and taken to the ant farm for processing. So what I need is information on one Dakota Shreveport. If any, and I give like a description, and I'm like, if any of you know anything about him, etc., please, inform me. And if you are Dakota Shreveport, the Bureau of Normalcy demands that you show yourself immediately so that we can, process you.
Ian's power has gone out
Oh,
because there is a storm. So,
that's a natural ending point.
Wow.
a natural ending. As you finish your speech, every eye in the club that you are in turns toward you. You can feel that they are power's back on. Okay, I was coming. Oh, I think he's calling in from a cell phone. I was coming in as a guest GM. What happens is your speech is successful, right? Your power floods through the area, and everyone's you can feel their psyche linking up to yours. Feel them, the power of your blood flowing through them. But you feel something else, something strange. You feel a little bit of Seraphim's, like mana mixed in there. And you realize what's happened is that despite saying it wasn't his plan, all of his lies have spread throughout the club. and while he did not sing the song of turning, each one of them in their tiny lice voice, the Terry's just like jamming out to the singing that is actually impossible for human ears to hear, but their blood hears.
Right.
And the club is turned to horrifying lesser vampires under the thrall of not Seraphim, no, but his lice.
Oh, that's a wonderful
scene.
Wonderful surprise.
Did you just swoop in because you get to wait 15 seconds and you just steal the ending of Bloodborne from me? I see how it is.
Sure did.
You're all gonna get tarantula hairs in the butt crack.
It's what I wanted to see happen.
I'll have you know that I wear a tarantula hair thong every day because I'm a kinky Catholic. It's like sackcloth or whatever.
Friends, I did swoop in and I stole Ian's.
I'm sorry, Ian. That was a jack move on John's part. On the other hand, I like where he took it.
It's exactly what I wanted to happen.
So what happened, audience, if you didn't catch it, is that Ian's power went out for a whopping 4 seconds.
That's all it took to John.
And I've stolen more for less. And I saw Ian post in Discord that his power is off. I look up, he's frozen in dark screen, but these guys haven't noticed because Charles is in the middle of this great speech. So I was like, okay, I could just pop in and say, hey, that's it, Ian's gone, sorry. But I didn't want to do that. So I jumped in and I tried to save the day, and then Ian came back in the middle, and I was like, I guess I should have fucking waited a second. But I didn't, and so we ended on a comedy note for this grisly crust punk vampire game. Huge shout out to Adam Vaas and World Champ Games for designing this.
Another banger from World Champ and Adam. Yeah.
God, one of my favorite designers. He recently got married, so congratulations to Adam.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
You can go to worldchampgames.io and pick up any of his games. He also regularly has sales, so like pick those up. You can also go to Itch and find him there to get his digital games. But you know what else you can do? You can go to madnessheartgames.itch.io and pick up Madness Heart Press's games too there. So,
While
win-win.
you're shopping. Yep.
While you're shopping, I'd like to thank Ian for being a good sport. I steal the game from
Thanks,
him.
man.
I'd also like to thank Bog Wizard for our intro and outro music, which is Barbaria off the album Barbaria Live off the album Journey Through the Dying Lands, brought to you by Madness Heart Games.
That's right.
Just going to move the camera up there so you can see the beautiful framed version of that vinyl album.
Purdy.
Friends, it is November 5th, and there is nowhere we would rather be than gaming with each other.
Yep.
And there is nowhere that you should be other than spending with friends, doing shit you love, and maybe creating something cool. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters. Doing cool shit with your friends.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All we've got.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ian. I am sorry.
Right.
Sorry for that.
I'm not sorry.
Far worse on this show.
All things considered, this is not the shittiest thing I've done. And it won't be the last either. We have new books at madnessheart.press. Check them out. Charles has a book. I have some books. Kevin's gonna have games on there sometime in the future, so check it out. But I just want to say, from the bottom of our hearts here at Madness Heart Games, thank you so much for joining us on this consensual journey we call Wandering Monster. I was not here, but I'm apparently Ian SerVaas, GM Supreme.
I am Charles R. Bernard, and I am a 7-layer dipshit.
I'm Kevin Welch, and at the moment I am stitching together the bird bones for a little armor suit for Terrence.
Cool.
I am a tarantula in a jar with a penchant for inflicting my hairs upon people.
And I'm also Ian. This is Ian's voice.
Oh no!
We will be back in a couple of weeks, I believe. I believe we were playing Borg next, if I'm not mistaken.
We will be recording that on the 20th of November with our guest GM.
Yes.
Oh, dope.
So the next time you see us, it will be Borg with our guest GM. It's going to be awesome, I promise. If you can't wait that long, just sit in existential dread and masturbate. We'll see you next time, friends.
You've completed another Wandering Monster adventure. Click subscribe, leave a review, mark experience on your sheet, and we'll see you next time.